What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another bite-sized review. Today we'll be taking a look at DisneyPixar's The Incredibles 2, which was the highly anticipated sequel to 2004's The Incredibles, which remains one of my favorite superhero movies still. As a kid, I loved it, and I still love it. And I was also, like many of you, waiting for a sequel, so in 2018, we got that sequel. And I can say it definitely lived up to the first one. In fact, I think I like some things more about Incredibles 2, compared to the first one. But anyway, we do have most of the original cast back. Spencer Fox, who played Dash in the original, is replaced. We also have Rick Dicker, his actor Bud Lucky, sadly passed away in between the Incredibles 1 and 2, so he's also replaced. Other than that, everyone is pretty much back, except for Syndrome, and that makes sense if you've seen The Incredibles. So this does have a new villain going by the name Screenslaver. He'll get his own video. I'm not going to spoil his reveal in case you haven't seen the film. But anyway, the story is pretty simple. It's actually kind of two stories. So this is obviously an immediate sequel, so it takes place directly after Incredibles 1. So when the Underminer makes his appearance at the very end, this kind of goes into that, but it kind of switches it up after that. The Underminer gets away, minor spoilers, so the Incredibles are back to being kind of illegal again, and so two new characters are introduced. We have Winston Deavor and Evelyn Deavor, two billionaires who run this company called DevTech, and they kind of take an interest in Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible, and also Frozone is also back. They take an interest in those three in particular because they're trying to bring back superheroes, kind of trying to like make them legal again. And so that's like the main story is it's mostly focused on Elastigirl, which I really like that because in the first Incredibles it was mostly about Bob, Mr. Incredible. So now it's all about Elastigirl pretty much. She's like the main focus. And she's probably my favorite character, although probably Syndrome might be my second favorite. But yeah, she gets a lot of focus, and so Elastigirl is off doing these missions for DevTech, and that's kind of the main story. There's like a lot of action as well. This does have more action than the first one, which I like that. And there's also some great moments as well, like sprinkled throughout. And so the second story is Bob, Mr. Incredible, kind of taking care of the kids. He's kind of sidelined a little bit, but we still get some great moments from him. And so he's watching Dash and Violet and Jack, who's now has powers, as you saw at the end of the first film. So that's cool. He's trying to like wrangle the kids, and so that's pretty fun. So we do get some callbacks. We do get to see the Incredibile, which is awesome. That's actually really important. Frozone's back. Edna Mode is back, which is great. Once again, voiced by the director, Brad Bird. That's great. Also, I do want to mention, The Incredibles 1 and 2 are pretty close in runtime. They're both above 2 hours about, so this one's 2 hours and 6 minutes. So it's a bit of a long one, but trust me, it's worth it. It's great. We do also have some new superheroes introduced. So kind of toward the middle half, where we have some new characters called Brick, let's see, Hell-Lectrix, or Electrix, somewhere around there. It's a cool name. And then we have, let's see, Void as well. So there's some new ones, such as, see if I can remember his name, Reflux as well. So there's some new ones introduced. They don't get a ton of focus, but we do learn a little bit about them, so that's cool. So there's not just the Incredibles, there's other superheroes, which is cool. Because in the first film, obviously, they're all dead, basically. So yeah, the Omnidroid took care of those. But yeah, I love the sequel. It does a lot of things right. I do really love the villain. I am a little bit disappointed by the reveal of it, but one of the best scenes is Elastigirl fighting the Screenslaver, and the monologue before that. That is so cool. In fact, I'm going to give Screenslaver his own video, because I want to talk about some of the elements of this film, and like spoiler wise. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I love both stories where Violet's trying to ask out Tony Ridinger again. because it makes sense. His mind got wiped because he saw them at the beginning of this film during the fight with the Underminer. And so that was interesting. And so she's trying to ask him out. Dash is trying to get, math help, and Bob is frustrated with math, and he's frustrated why they changed it. That's fun. Jack has his own fight with the raccoon in the backyard, which is ridiculous, but it works. The new house is cool. The Deavors loan the Incredibles a new house, so that's interesting. So they get a new house. Obviously, it makes sense if you've seen the first one. I'm not gonna spoil a ton here, just because, like, I don't want to like ruin it too much. But what I really appreciated is that there's more villains in this one. Obviously, the Screenslaver is the big bad, but there's also the Underminer, who we get to see a little bit more of here, as compared to the first one, where we just get that tiny glimpse. But here we get this fight with Mr. Incredible versus the Underminer, which is awesome. He does get away, which is interesting. So he's still at large. Obviously, Syndrome is no longer a threat. You'll understand if you've seen the first one. But the Omnidroids are still around. They've been reprogrammed, so that's interesting. The action is great. There's a monorail sequence with Elastigirl trying to stop it. That's cool. I like the new Elasticycle. That's awesome. Let's see. Elastigirl, Mr. Incredible, and Frozone do wear their original outfits, so that's pretty cool for the nostalgia. And yeah, I really like the new characters. Obviously, everyone's back. Holly Hunter, Craig T. Nelson, let's see, Samuel L. Jackson. So they're pretty much all back. Brad Bird. But we do have the new characters, the Billionaires. They have a really interesting backstory. Winston Deavor is played by Bob Odenkirk, and then we have Evelyn Deavor, who's voiced by Catherine Keener. They are really interesting, specifically their backstory and why they run DevTech. They're a big fan of superheroes. In particular, Winston is a huge fan. That's why he brings the Incredibles back into the limelight. And so it's really interesting. At the beginning, there's like a really realistic scene where the Incredibles are like, they're kind of made illegal again because of their fight with the Underminer. It caused a lot of damage. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. The beginning, it's a little bit like sad for them because they don't have their house. They lost their superhero status, and they're kind of just living in hotels. It's a little depressing, but it does get better. And I really like the fight at the end on the yacht. That's cool. I'm trying not to spoil a ton here, but if you've seen Incredibles 2, there's not a ton that will surprise you, at least from this video. I love this film. I think I love the action in this film more. I like the look of this a little bit more than the first one. It's more like crisp, like it's cleaner. It looks more like vibrant, as opposed to the first one, which was made in 2004. So obviously there's a long gap between this and 2, but both are incredible films, pun intended. They're definitely, Incredibles is my favorite Pixar film. Incredibles 2 is a worthy follow-up. I feel like it does a lot right. And it's near perfect. If I'm going to complain, I would have liked to see a little bit more with the Underminer. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit of a reference to Syndrome. I would have liked to see a little bit more of the Omnidroids, but I understand why they're not in here. They are referenced, which is nice. I'm a big fan of the Omnidroid. It'll get its own video. A few characters will get their own video. Edna Mode is back. That's great to see her return. She is a great character. Her scenes are really nice. And yeah, Frozone's back as well. We get a bit more of him. That's nice. Lots of callbacks. The music is fantastic. Michael Giacchino does the score. What's really cool about Incredibles 2 is the fact that they made theme songs for Frozone, Elastigirl, and Mr. Incredible, which are all amazing songs, and they play in the end credits, which is nice. And this feels like a worthy sequel. It just feels it's so fun. It's so energetic and richly, like, it's so great. It feels so, it feels the same, except that obviously it's a newer movie, so it looks a little bit better. But honestly, I don't have any real problems with The Incredibles 2. If they just ended it here, I'd be fine with that. If they did Incredibles 3, great. If not, that's fine. Just 2, that's fine. I know there's some comic books too. I might get into those. I don't know yet. Um, but yeah, Incredibles 2, it's fantastic. 10 out of 10. I have no issues with it. Um, it's just a great drama, great emotional moments, great action, great music, great villains, just great look, and the story is really well told. Um, yeah, I have no complaints. And I did see this in theaters, and I thought it was awesome, and I actually bought it recently. I still think it's awesome. I might watch it a few more times. Um, but yeah, it's really well done. It did take a while for this to come out. There's some great bonus features, like there's an Auntie Edna short where Edna Mode is babysitting Jack Jack. Um, that's cool. A bit of a callback to the first film. Um, yeah, I think it's a great film. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. It's a great family film, great superhero film. It's just a great film. Uh, yeah. I would recommend it. I would say they're probably Incredibles 2 is probably like a little bit better than the first one. Like it has a little bit more messages, more mature themes. It's a little bit better in terms of that, but the first film was so iconic, so it's a tie for me. Like it kind of switches, but yeah, what do you guys think of Incredibles 2? Have you seen it? What do you think? Do you hate it? Do you love it? What do you think about the whole franchise? Let me know. I have a couple more videos on some characters coming. I probably will do one on Elastigirl as well, since she's my favorite. Who's your favorite Incredible member of the Parr family? Or do you like the villains more? Let me know what you think. Did you like the villain in this film? Let me know. Do you want an Incredibles 3? Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching this. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I didn't spoil anything too much for you. I might do a podcast on this movie because I have a lot more to say. Yeah, that's really all for this one. Stay tuned for my review of The Incredibles 1 coming very soon, and more Pixar stuff coming. But yeah, that's all for me. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and have an incredible rest of your day.